So this is just a typical blow dry for someone who wants their hair dry and smooth, maybe a little volume, but it's not a blowout look. Right now I am pre-drying our hair to 80% dry, so you're gonna feel at the scalp and ends no water dripping off, but it should still have a little bit of moisture, so that way the hair will do what you want it to do. If you get it too dry, you can risk not being able to smooth it properly, and you won't get as much volume. Now I'm going to start my sectioning. So your diagonal back, the front is going to be the highest point and the back is going to be down by the ear. We do diagonal sectioning because it helps not create parts in the hair when you're drying it, and it's a seamless look at the end. So her roots were pretty dry right here, so I only had to go over them like maybe once or twice, but I'll show you on this next one. So diagonal back, it's hard to see from this angle, but it's still at a diagonal. I'm going to do 3 wraps around the top so that I'm not heating her scalp up too much, and then I'm going underneath to get a little bit of volume, and I don't start working on the mids until the roots are already dry. And once the mids look good, then I'll polish the ends. I have an idea of where her part is, but I didn't part it off because I do want her to have a little bit more volume, and she doesn't have any cowlicks, so I don't have to worry about that, and we're not quite at her part yet. So 3 wraps around the top, coming underneath. You don't have to come underneath, but that just helps me to get as close as possible without burning them. And then again over the top. I'm not laying my blow dryer on the hair because I don't want to risk burning it, but it is getting pretty close to it, and I'm moving slowly. Also, while I'm doing this in the pre-dry portion, I put my blow dryer in my dominant hand, but once I start blow drying, I switch my dominant hand to the brush and use the blow dryer in my other hand. So I just talked to her about where her part was and kind of fixed it so that way I can blow dry now this side. And again, drying the roots, then moving to the mids, and then at the ends, I'm going to pull it through and keep wrapping it around until I feel good about how smooth it looks. Switching sides, still diagonal back. Remember, the highest point is going to be towards her face, the lowest point towards her ear. Now, if you want like kind of the curtain bang look, I like to actually take the 2 pieces from each side of the part and blow dry them backwards together. But since we were just kind of going for this look that isn't super voluminous and it's not really a blowout, I just went ahead with her part. So when the roots are dry, you can do it this way, but when you have them look down like I'm about to right here, you can get the root better if it's still pretty wet at the scalp. If you don't have them look down, you do risk burning them if you have to get too close, so have them look down for that first section and then go ahead and start working up. Again, I'm doing diagonal sections all the way up the head in the back, and you don't have to stay on one side. You can go back and forth, which probably is the best way to do it, to alternate sides, just because, again, you probably will have the least amount of creasing or splitting in the dried look. If you'll notice, the first section underneath, I took really a small amount of hair, and then this section is a little bit bigger. Now, again, she's 80% dry, so it's not like, sopping wet, or I probably wouldn't have taken that size of a piece. But at the same time, you don't want to take tiny, tiny pieces all the way up, or it'll take you a lot longer. And you can see those diagonal sections from this view. Now, once I'm getting to the crown area, and once the width is kind of as wide as the brush, I will stop doing the diagonals, and I'll still kind of create a diagonal section, but I'll take both sides of the hair together and still creating that volume at the top. And another key point with volume is you don't want to keep heating up the roots over and over again and then pull them straight down right after they're hot. You kind of want to let it cool while it's in the up position because that will help hold the volume as much as possible. Now that everything's smooth and dry, I'm going in with a cold shot. So I've turned my blow dryer on cold and I am running it through her hair. One, this helps seal everything and cool down the hair, but also it helps you to feel if there's any wet spots in the hair. So this look, again, this is not a blowout. This is not a super strategic look, but it's a polished, smooth look. I do this a lot when I'm gonna curl their hair after, but it should look good enough that they can wear it just like this.